Hey you, thanks for stopping by. The day's done, so let's settle in and make ourselves comfortable. I brought a few stories to share. The shallow dip where water collects. It's not deep, not muddy, just low enough to gather runoff when the rain lasts more than a few minutes. The grass in the dip is a little shorter, sometimes flattened. It doesn't stay wet for long. The sun clears it. The wind finishes the job. When it's dry, it blends in again. But water knows to return there. The ground doesn't resist. There are no stones, no frogs, no sound. It simply receives, holds, and lets go. The edges are rounded. Nothing drains from it. It just disappears slowly, then waits for the next time. The piece of fence that faces the woods. No house behind it, no barn, just trees. The fence used to separate something, maybe a pasture, maybe nothing. Now it's just there. One segment, 4 posts, still upright, still solid. The wire sags a little in the center, but it doesn't fall. The trees behind it have grown closer. Branches lean over. Leaves gather near the base. The fence isn't broken, but it doesn't block, doesn't hold. It marks the edge of something that no longer has a shape. Grass grows against it. Nothing chews it. Nothing jumps it. The metal rusts in slow patches. The wood stays dry. It wasn't removed. It wasn't finished. Just left. The hollow where no tree has grown, surrounded by dense brush, pines and ferns, but in the center a circle of bare earth, not dead, not dry, just unused. No stumps, no roots, no signs of fire. The soil looks like it should hold something, but nothing grows. It's soft, slightly darker than what's around it. The wind passes over it, but the sun hits it at an angle. A few leaves land there, then vanish. No tracks pass through. No shadow stays long. The space isn't watched. It's not sacred, just empty, and has been for longer than any witness could say. The tree trunk beyond the parking lot line. It's far enough away to be outside the glow. The bark is rough, but nothing dramatic. There's no plaque, no name. The branches aren't visible unless the wind moves them. No one parks near it. Nothing touches it. Sometimes a squirrel passes by. Sometimes nothing does. The trunk has a slight lean, or maybe the ground settled. The roots are below the surface. It stands without asking to be noticed. A tree that does its job with no shape worth describing. Just one more upright thing against the dark. The rain barrel that never fills. It sits at the edge of the shed, beneath the crooked downspout. The barrel is blue, faded, and bowed slightly at the sides. The lid is gone. Rain does fall into it, but not enough, not fast. A leaf floats inside, some dirt at the bottom. The water never rises, never overflows, it never leaves. The downspout doesn't aim cleanly. It drips down the outside more often than not. The base of the barrel is ringed with moss. The ground around it is soft. It's not attached to anything. It doesn't feed a system. It doesn't water any plants. It just collects a little, then stops. The surface is dull. It smells faintly like metal. No one checks it, but it stays, just in case. The wire that disappears into the wall, black, thin, not new. It runs along the baseboard before vanishing into a small hole near the corner. It's stapled at intervals, not evenly. The plastic is scuffed in different places, not brittle, still flexible. The hole is smooth, drilled clean. The wall it enters is plain. No switch, no outlet, no sign of where the wire leads. It could be for anything. Could be live, could be dead, but it doesn't move, doesn't spark, doesn't hum. It hasn't been disturbed in a long time. Paint covers part of it near the edge. Not enough to hide it, just enough to forget it. The wall holds it now, a quiet surrender. It leads somewhere, or at least it used to. The trail that follows the hill without climbing it. It curves just beneath the rise, not carved, not marked, but visible, where the grass gives way to the soil. The slope above is steep, but the trail doesn't touch it. It doesn't try to reach the top, just circles it. The ground here is firmer, water drains sideways. The path follows the edge without asking why. Birds pass through overhead. Insects cross it. No trees block it, but no trees line it either. It's a middle place. The wind turns gently here. The silence settles just a little bit lower. No one walks this trail. Nothing keeps it open, but it remains. A line that doesn't connect points. It just stays where the hill makes room. The hinge without a door. Still bolted into the frame. Still solid. Just the hinge. The metal is dark, but not rusted. The pin is intact. There's a mark where the door once pressed. Nothing covers the space now. Just air. Just the memory of something that moved. The other hinge is gone. The wall is patched there. But this one stayed. Not for a reason, just because. It doesn't creak. It doesn't bend. It's part of the frame now. The edge of movement. Without the movement, it doesn't hold anything. It doesn't need to. It's not forgotten. It's not remembered. It's just there, like it always was. The step outside the back door. Concrete, unpainted, unadorned, poured a little uneven. The left side sits lower than the right. Not enough to trip, just enough to notice if you stand still. There's a line of dirt along the edge where the broom doesn't reach. The concrete stays longer than the grass, stains darker after rain. Sometimes the wind blows leaves into the corner where the step meets the siding. Sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. The edge has worn smoother over time, not slick, just softer. The door opens over it, closes over it. The step holds everything without responding. It never cracks, never shifts, but it knows where to stay. The path cut through the tall grass, barely wide enough for one person, pressed down by boots or tires long ago. The grass beside it leads inward. Nothing has followed it recently, but the shape stays, bent, familiar, dustier than the rest. Bugs avoid it. The air above is slightly warmer in the afternoon. It turns left near the cedar fence, then fades, not sharply, just slowly. The path was never marked, never paved, but it's still there. It doesn't insist, doesn't guide, just offers a shape to follow or not. The patch of weeds behind the utility box. There's a flat metal box on a concrete base. Behind it, weeds grow close to the wall. No flowers, just long stems, small leaves, pale green with hints of gray. They don't get trimmed. They don't fall over. They're protected by the box's shadow during most of the day. A few bits of trash end up there, but nothing stays long. The wind can reach that space, but only sideways. It's not a garden. It's not overgrown. It's just green enough to count. The wall behind it is blank. The metal bucket near the barn wall. The bottom has rust spots. The sides are dented near the handle. It doesn't leak, but it hasn't held water in a long time. It's tilted slightly towards the grass, resting unevenly on a root. The barn wall behind it is red, with flaking paint. The bucket doesn't touch it. It's close, but not pressed. There's no rope, no label, nothing inside but a few bits of straw and one small stone. The wind doesn't reach here much. It's not a path. It's not a tool anymore. It doesn't belong anywhere else. It's been there a long time. The handle rests at an angle, still attached. The bend in the river where sound fades. Upstream, the current hums, soft but present. At the bend, it stops, not fully, just lowers. The sound moves up into the trees and disappears. The river still moves. The surface still shimmers, but it's quiet here, just this stretch. Maybe the slope shifts. Maybe the rocks settle differently. The water slows, only slightly. The current bends like it's remembering something, then forgets. The sound returns farther down, but not here. Here, everything stays low. Branches reach toward the bank, not over it. Light ripples across the surface, then fades. There's nothing to catch the ear, just motion, not noise. The blank plate on the wall by the stairs. It's not a switch, not an outlet, just a plate. Square, white, centered. A placeholder for something that never got installed, or something that was removed. The wall doesn't mind. The paint matches. The screws are even. No labels, no texture, just a cover. It's not near anything useful. A few steps down from the landing. Not in the way, not in the light. It's rarely passed close enough to see, but it stays. Firm against the drywall, whatever behind it has long stopped working, if it ever even did. But the plate remains, neat, sealed, unused. It's not hidden. It's just not noticed. A sealed absence. Nothing to open, nothing to forget. The stairs continue. The wall continues, and the plate holds still. The log across the edge of the stream. It didn't fall recently. It's dry now. The bark is missing in sections, not stripped, just gone. The stream underneath passes without touching it. not deep enough to matter. The log connects one side of the bank to the other, but no one uses it. There's a thinner tree nearby, easier to step across. This one stays wide, unmoving, too low to block, too high to wash. Moss grows along the bottom, but not fully. It just leans there, resting between places, never crossing. The fence shadow on the ground. It moves, but not on its own. The fence stays still. The shadow slides slowly across gravel, sometimes across grass. The shape is simple, lines, slats, repeating gaps. It falls farther in the morning, shortens later. No one watches it move, it's just there, stretched out beneath the panels. At certain hours, it vanishes entirely, but not for long. When the light changes, the shadow returns, not different, not exact, just repeating what it always has. The ground doesn't notice, the fence doesn't notice, the shadow doesn't care. The path made by animal feet, not wide, not straight, just pressed into the grass over time. One paw print, then another, and another. Light enough not to crush, heavy enough not to forget. The trail weaves, slightly uphill, then vanishes near a fence post. It returns sometimes, not every day. The earth softens after rain, then firms again. The prints hold as long as they're allowed to, then fade, until something passes through once more, and then leaves them again. And that's all I have for tonight. The stories have come to an end, so I'll be on my way. Sleep well, and maybe we'll meet again tomorrow.